Okay, guys. Today is a great day because I am here with one of the living legend of Arnis, Grandmaster Pallen. I am so happy, really honored to be here with him, and this for me is a special day because Grandmaster, you for me is you are a legend for me because I have seen a lot of documents about you, a lot of videos, as so thank you so much for giving me this possibility to interview you. So how are you, Grandmaster?
Thank you. I am fine, sir. And how are you also? And I appreciate that you included me in your MMA program. I've seen you
Thank you
before
so much.
also at the Facebook.
Thank you, Grandmaster. Today I would like start immediately because I have a lot of questions for you because today is a special day. So I would like to ask you a lot of questions about you and your history. The first
Great,
question.
great.
Oh, thank you. The first question is the lineage of your style because you are a founder of an amazing style of arnis, Cinco Teros arnis. This is the first question for you.
Okay, okay. Here's the explanation for that. Cinco Teros is actually with my grandfather, but it's not. I changed the cinco, the CINTIROS, into cinco teros for identity. So that when you say cinco teros, with my spelling is ENKOTIROS, it identify is that's come from me, that I founded that during this time. See, but actually, my grandfather is the lineage is Cinco Teros from Luzon. I am from Bicol region, Naga City, Camarines Sur, and I grew up there. And my grandfather introduced me to the Filipino martial art Cinco with C and Teros, with using only solo baston. And that
Oh,
is the starting of my research when I immigrated to America. Is that is
great.
that enough, or you want more?
Oh, I want to know a lot of things about your style and you because you are for me you are a living legend today. So cioè, for me it's more info, please, Grandmaster. We need in Europe. Many people want to know about you.
For the entire life, that's all I've been. That's my passion, and that's pretty much all my life. Growing up and getting to this old, this time. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome. I would like to ask you about your history. The history of Grandmaster Pallen is very important to know about your history since the beginning.
Okay, this is how I started. I was born and I was born and raised in Naga City, Bicol region in the Philippines, Camarines Sur. I was born in Pasacao, and Odicon, Pasacao, Camarines Sur. I was born there. I grew up also. I started to grow up in Sipokot with my parents. And from there, we moved to Naga City, and that's where I started my elementary. I have my first grade in Sipukot, and that's where I end up. My grandfather introduced me to Cinco Teros because I was ganged up by my three classmates. I was knocked down in the railroad track. So my grandfather introduced me to the arnis, which is Cinco Teros. From then on, when we moved to Naga City, I went to school there, but I've been, since Naga City is a big city, I've been into a lot of problem there with people that are arrogant and people that bullying in the school and pretty much in the street and things like that. So I learned how to join friends. In that way, I will not be bullied all the time when I got lots of friends. But it was not ended like that, because then a lot of time we get into a fight, in territorial fight, and that's how it is in our city, in Naga City. I grew
Mm.
up. I grew up. Went to, since my father was moving around. We moved to Laguna, to Los Baños, Laguna, in Calamba. I went to school in Camarines but then I graduated in Calamba, Laguna, St. John Academy. When I graduated in Calamba, Laguna, I moved back into Naga City, and I registered for the University of Nueva Cáceres as a civil engineer. And but just because I haven't concentrated in my school, I dropped out. So just because I was involved with a lot of my friends, some of them are actually not very good friends. Uh, my father select me to go to immigrate to United States, which is 1959. 59. He took me over to Hawaii and leave me over there after 1 month, staying to one of his good friend. So when I was there, I find it very small and I'm making very little. And just because I am sending money, and most of my salary, which is a dollar 10 at that time, an hour, and I sometimes I send it all to the Philippines, to my parents, to help out my 8 brothers and 2 sisters. Or
Oh.
not yet, not yet all brother yet, because they're a lot younger yet. But anyway, I was disappointed because all my money I'm sending to the Philippines, and then it kept coming back and asking me more, and all the time. So I moved to California. That's 1959. 1960, I took a flight and I moved to California. And I landed in San Francisco. And from then on, with a little money that I have to made a choice to work in the farm in Fresno, California. So from there, I'd been working until winter time, and then until the summertime, I move around to the different part of Contra Costa and work in asparagus field, picking asparagus visible. And from then on, I stay in Stockton. I had seen Angel Cabalis at that time already, and I talked to him because he used to hang around in El Dorado and Stockton, where all Filipinos hang around and tell stories about their younger fight in the street way back when they are still in the Philippines. So we used to hang around in the pool hall in Manila Capi, more like a Filipino type. So after work, we will go there and kind of have, beer. I'm probably about 20, 21 at that time. So I luckily got a job in Auckland. So when I get into Auckland, I have the same story, the same fight in the bar, and a straight fight, and sometimes challenging drivers that are bad drivers, and sometimes they will come out in the car and we fight in the signal light, and that was
Oh.
my life then at the. Oh, what happened? That's my life then in Oakland, California. I got a job in Oakland, California, but then now we go home in Stockton every weekend. But we work on the 5 days over in Oakland. But then we hung around also in the Filipino town during the weekdays. But anyway, then we get into trouble when we drink a little bit and all that. And so most of the time, my life is actually like that. That then one time I met a friend that taking karate. This is the Professor Charles Gillard. That is around 63. Kajukimbo, one of the poor people that brought Kajukimbo in mainland, which is, in United States, mainland. But anyway, he saw me one of my fight in the street. So he said, "Hey, pare, why don't you go with me and sign up for your fighting fighting skill and make it a lot more better, and you become more humble by doing that." So I did. I signed up in 1963. I signed up for that Kimpo Karate, and then I also in the parade I met Professor Charles Gellard. They call it now Gellard's method, and studied with a white belt. And I graduated by 65, and I got my black belt by 1965. So all of a sudden, I thought I will help a lot of Filipinos that come from the Philippines that go to the United States, and they're actually the same thing. It was bullied by other classmates in the school and some other nationalities just because they are more like look Asian. So it's been bullied a lot. So I said, I'm gonna help you guys. So we used to train in the park, and I decided to put up a school with karate, Kimpo karate, Gillard's method. And that's how I started in the martial arts, formal martial arts. So ever since then, I continue doing that. Just because of less money that I have, we have to cannot pay the other one, and then we move into another location. And then when we cannot pay that, we move into another location. So we got a lot of location just being maintained, the karate school. And later on, and later on, by 1968, I start thinking about the Filipino martial arts. And I said, hey, we have a arnis, which is the Filipino martial arts. And it was not, I didn't realize it. There was already Philippine martial art in Stockton at the time with behavioral systems, with the Bahala and then the Angel Kabalibs one. I didn't realize that even though I was staying in Stockton. But anyway, to make it short, I start traveling back to the Philippines and try to research and find a good master that I could be able to help me out. So for many years, I cannot be able to locate a real instructor that will going to teach me. And I even met Ernesto Presas first, and then with Roberto at that time in Manila. But then when I moved to another area, I met, somebody introduced me to Grandmaster Remy Presas. And that's where I met him 1972-73 at that time. And so I trained just because of his personality. I trained with Grandmaster Remy Presas for that time in the Philippines. And then after some time, when I'm going back to the America, he actually awarded me the California commissioner, and also he gave me the Lakan Isa as instructor. So 1973, I am the first person that brought in modern arnis and put up a school in Oakland, California. And that's why we have it at 19th in Broadway, in the second floor of one department store with 5,000 square meter feet. And so I was really involved now with martial arts, promoting tournaments, joining tournaments, judging, officiating, and a lot of them. And I got my brother now helping me out, come from the Philippines, and we started to grow a lot of followers at that time. They call it the PALLEN's martial arts. We call it PALLEN's martial art. So by the time we're pretty much more, we got followers all over Oakland or Bay Area at that time. And so I thought we can initiate the Asian Martial Art Expo. That was 1974 in Oakland. So I got befriended by a lot of the young and Filipino community leaders, and I kind of give them my story about why we introduced the Filipino martial art here in America. So some suggested to get a petition with Remy Presas. That is 1974. So we give them a petition with somebody working on it and taking care of it. And I think he even went back to Manila just because some kind of what you call the embassy. Actually, the person is over there to be able to file that. But anyway, I continue doing that, and all of a sudden, 1975, because we failed to get Remy Presas 1974 for that Asian Martial Art Expo in Oakland, in Civic Auditorium. We continue the Asian Martial Arts Expo without Remy Presas. So anyway, 1975, my telephone ring. And then somebody talked to me and said, hey, Max, I'm coming to America. Send me a ticket. So I sent him a round trip ticket. The agreement with Heredia Travel Agency is that we will send him round trip ticket, but then I will return the other half, because the plan is that there's no way that Remy Presas will going back to the Philippines. So we decided that we do that. But anyway, 1975, when I pick up Remy Presas over in Southern California and brought it to my house. That's how modern arts started. And in Oakland, we propagate, we did demonstration, we initiated a lot of library demonstration, exhibition, and police agencies, and all kinds of things. We send flyers, school districts. Sometimes we got about 500 students in the school district of Auckland just to propagate the modernism, because that is one of Remy Fresa's um, idea, is to be able to get Filipino martial arts in America. And so I don't want to discuss anything negatives, but anyway, things happen. Uh, there is some negative happen that make us a disagreement. So Remy and I kind of took it over, and I said it's better just 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 stay somewhere. In that way, everything will be cool. So we are not fighting or anything. We just talk like a gentleman. So he left, and for the last 2 years, I never heard of him or anything. I went
Oh.
back to San Francisco, but after that, I don't know anymore.
Mm.
So now, after that, then I was still looking for Filipino martial arts. So that's how I met. That's 1977. I start to uh, uh, Leo Geron, bahala na.
Oh.
I went
Oh,
back to
good.
Stockton, Leo Geron, come over to the karate school in Auckland. And we decided that I will starting to join his club just because Remy Francis is not there anymore. So I studied with Bahala na with Grandmaster Leo Gurun for a long time, driving from Auckland to Stockton winter time with pags all over the place. But anyway, so I continue the, I don't know if, I think that's the first batch of the Bahala na at that time, 1970, we actually study, he make his basement as the school. So anyway, I continue that, and at a later time I made, and also join, I starting to meet a lot of the masters. Now I meet Grandmaster Lagusa, Billiard System. So
Okay.
when I do that, I went down and joined. I started to join the group in San Francisco by Grandmaster Lantayao. At that time, he has a school over in Balboa Street in San Francisco, and uh, I become part of the Kali group Bolivar system, and one of our very known escrimador there that is part of the organization is Dan Inosanto and his sidekick. But anyway, uh, but anyway, I've been with him. Uh, I've been in Filipino martial art until then. Then, being involved also in the tournaments, we introduce also the Filipino martial arts, which is I start to research how to make a padded, to make it real, because in my in my assumption is that you cannot run away, evade, strike all the time. You got to be able to determine where are you going to block it and then counter. That's the fastest way how to get back to your opponent, is to block. You're close enough, and then you whack him after that. That is my thinking at that time.
Great.
So when
Great
I get
principle.
the padded net, you can do that. So when I research, then I started to meet the Stockton group, and then Grandmaster Bandalan, Grandmaster Bice, Grandmaster Tibon. And then during the time on the 80s, the way 80s, 83, uh, 85, we starting to put together a group united to be
Mm.
able to propagate the Filipino martial arts tournaments and exhibition. So what happened is that Wake Up at that time there then is becoming very popular. So
Yes.
and then in the 80s, on the late 80s, we ended up joining the group, and I think until the 90s, and then we all go to the Philippines and fought for the Wake Up group. It was the Bustillo, Grandmaster Bustillo actually called us the renegade because we went to Southern California and fought for the Wake Up tournaments there in LA, and we took some gold and things like that in my son.
Oh, internet connection. Yeah, we wait. Mm. That's the problem of of the of the interview online. That's the key. That's the problem. We wait. We wait a moment. Sorry for this problem. But it's normally when we are from between the Philippines and Europe. It's normally because there's a problem with the internet connection. So wait a moment, and then we will restart. Okay.
Sorry, Master Claudio.
Yes, yes, I'm here.
Hello.
Yes, Grandmaster, we continue. No problem. Continue. It's normally.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, so we're actually on the part of late 80s on the 90s. So we're joining the group now, the Bandalan group, the Tibun group, the Vice group, the Vice, and myself. Oh, we have called the renegade by Bustillo. Some people over in Southern California, just because we are not actually part of any group at that time, of any group of the Wake Up. So we just went in and put their tournaments, and
Mhm.
this designated us to different state, different part of the world, so we can compete representing a different group of organization at different part of the country. But anyway, so that is the story until we go to the Philippines, in because we end up winning most of the honor, the medals, and we places a lot of our students during the competition. And it does happen in the Philippines also, where we are not accepted as a representative of any country. So they designated us that we come with different country so that we could get in or we could join. So we
Yeah.
did, and we took some medal also in honor about that. And that's how we got introduced into the Wicca. So uh, to continue, what I'm saying is that I we continue the same process, but anyway, by the 90s or late 80s, I still going back to the Philippines, and I meet Kakoy. I meet Grandmaster Kakoy Cañete with uh, with Dionisio Cañete, Grandmaster Dionisio Cañete, and I also secretly trained with Goyong Sinisa. This is the person, it's a balintawak, but he's not using his stick. He's only Balintalak, the knife person. That's all he's teaching is a knife technique and the knife skill.
Okay.
And this is in Mandawi, Cebu. I train with a person. I watch him first, and then later on, I train with him, and then I meet a lot of different people there, like the Belices. I did not meet Tabuada at that time. Elisar, and I also meet from Bacolod City the Nabales group, and also Tortal, the old Tortal, and also I actually previously met Leo Guy over in USA when he was over at on the late 80s. I met him and I take his seminars over in University of Bakersfield. At that time, I spent the whole seminar with my band. I'm staying in the band and then joining them into that. That's how we become friends. Me and Grandmaster Leo Guy. We become very good friend at that time until he went back to the Philippines. So what happened on the 26, at a later years, I started to do Palin martial arts. My kids grow up now into 30s, 40, and we are actually propagating the Palin's martial art organization, which is a lot bigger now. And of course, I thought my sons are smart. All three of them, I taught them when they were from the 5 years old up to this time, which is they're about 50s now. And Grandmaster Joran is actually the one that is running the Palens martial art now in San Leandro, California. And it's still going on, and it's getting bigger. And actually, just because of that, I'm helping the younger generation now the scenario when I was going to school and I get bullied a lot. And just because of that, I cannot concentrate and then go very farther on my schooling growing up. So that's how I did is that now I feel that I don't have to be in teaching for all my life. I thought now I have a son that is smart. I have a son that can do it. They're educated. They went to colleges and universities. And I thought maybe, hey, it's time for you to apply your new vision of martial art in your generation. So a few years ago, I actually transferred the grandmastership to my son Jordan Palin, and he still is the grandmaster right now in San Leandro, and he's doing great. He's not so much on becoming fame. I said one thing: do not try to compete to be a famous. Just be as you are. Continuity. Be as yourself. Be real. Just be a real person, honest to everybody. And I kind of give him more pointer on what life is all about. And like myself, I cannot be teaching all my life. I like to relax a little bit now. I like to live. Maybe I could teach one or two people that I like to teach, but it doesn't matter now. It doesn't matter where I have a student or not. I still have a student, but it is a student that I thought uh, uh, reserved to taught the Filipino martial art, especially the Filipino martial arts. So I am here now in Moalboal, Kapurnai, Ondo, Grandmaster Ondo
Oh,
Kapurnai.
yes,
When I
yes.
was with him, when I was with him in Tokmeher in Moalboal, we trained for 2 weeks. with Frank, his nephew, Frank Caburnay. What's his name, Frank or somebody?
Edgar,
But
Edgar,
anyway,
Edgar.
Edgar,
Mm.
Edgar Caburnay. We all come down there in Moalboal, and ever since then, I keep coming back from different countries. If I'm in Sumatra, if I'm in Indonesia, I come here. If I'm in Russia or Germany, I come here. And so I finally, there is a lady that asked me some money to buy tricycle for her son. So he said, I will offer you, I needed some money, and I will offer you to buy my land. And as long as I can buy my son tricycles, so because he don't have no job. So I did. We went to the bank. I gave him all she want, and luckily after that, my student in different part of the country started asking me if they could come with me here in Malwal. So I extended that. I have an octagon gym here in Moalboal, and now I'm planning to have a fish pond and gardens, and that way it will recycle by itself. So that is my life here,
Great.
and things are just doing right. It's not because I want to be famous. It's not because I want to be somebody. I just wanna live simple life and happy and peaceful and a lot of friends. And that's my life now. So that's all I can contribute to you. Question.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Thank you very
Grandmaster.
much.
You explain, you talk about a lot of grandmasters, very 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 famous grandmasters as your teachers. So it's fantastic. You have a lot of experience. When you told me about the Grandmaster Presas, Grandmaster Leo Giron, Grandmaster Lagusa, a lot of other grandmasters. So
I
it's amazing.
excuse, excuse me to interrupt. When I did not see Remy Presas when he left 1977, and he come to United States 1975. And 19, I did it again to another
Oh, another problem. Sometimes it's better, I think so. It's stop incoming calls on the phone or by phone because there's a problem with the internet connection. But no problem for this. We continue. We continue. Yes, Grandmaster.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So 1985, I I sent also a round trip ticket from another guy, the Balintawak master, which is I stay in their house in Mambaling. I met his dad. I study some in his dad, the Sabidra, uh, Vicente, Atilio, and then he told me to help out Ising Atilio. So we did. And that's all I can tell you about it. Right now, their life is their life, and I don't wanna say anything against anybody. I'm just trying to put the record straight. That it was then 1985 until you come down to my house and I kind of fix and help so that he can be able to be as famous as he is now. So yeah, that's my story about that I like to add also. And
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Grandmaster. Thank you, Grandmaster, for this big history, big history. I would like to ask you because for me it's a pleasure and an honor to ask you this kind of question. I would like to ask you about if you can tell me on Grandmaster Remy Presas as a scrimador and Grandmaster Leo Giron as a scrimador, because I know they were very good fighter. They good very scrimador. No.
I don't understand. The sound is kind of very.
Oh, yeah.
Master, the sound is kind of very. Can you repeat that, please?
Yes. I would like to ask you if you can tell me about Grandmaster Remy Presas and the Grandmaster Leo Giron as a scrimadors, because nobody talk about the scrimadors. No, is the I would like to ask you what kind of training with you. That an example, Grandmaster Remy Presas was if he used another way of training or different kind of training with you. I would like to ask you some question about your lessons with him and your lesson with the Grandmaster Leo Giron. An example, I would like to ask you this because nobody talk about about the method of training of those scrimadors.
I'm sorry, but I cannot understand because of the sound, because of the speaker sounding you too far or close. It's not very clear. What is the question? The Remy Presas teaching or I don't understand.
Yeah, about teaching. Yes, about teaching with you, because some grandmaster use the hard way of teaching, using stroke in a hard way, or some other use technique like number 1, number 2, number 3. It's a different way of teaching. I would like to ask you the difference between Grandmaster Remy Presas and Grandmaster Leo Giron.
Actually, Master Claudio, when it comes to teaching, is that every grandmaster has ways of teaching. Say one is better than the other. So my observation is that their self-experience or personal experience from different people is going to be different regardless. So I don't look at, now that I get more experience and get older, I don't look at it how good he is, how bad is the other person is, because everyone has a different way of doing things. That's why I understood it. Is Remy Presas has his own way of teaching. And when I saw him the first time in 1972, 73, he's a different person when I saw him back in 1980s or 90s. He's a lot smoother and everything, but that doesn't mean he's not smooth 1973, 72. It was a different time at that time. So I don't regard this as I'm better than the other. I regard this is that you develop a skill on your own as you go along. You adjust because of your student, or you just adjust because of a different vision on how you can be able to mold somebody. So I don't have this, he's good, he's bad. I don't like the way he is, and I like the way he is. I don't try to compare. Just like anything else, when two person is there, I don't compare those two person, because two person sometimes the skin. I listen to you, your answer is is different, just because you're picking up the thinking of that person is different from you.
Absolutely,
So
Grandmaster.
there's a, so that's how I can explain about that. There are I've been in tour with Grandmaster Tabuada and Escus. We have Hartman and the son of Geron, Michael Geron. We did we did a tour in the East Coast about a few years ago, and someone told me that I don't stop, yeah, change the way I do seminar because I talk a lot. That's my skill. That's the way I can be able to make it a lot easier for a student. That when I teach, they understood. I'm not just
Mhm.
showing them this because that's their style. I have my own style. So if people would just live alone, the person, because they have their own ways, we have our own ways of doing things. And that's the way I can put at it. So, regardless, it's you're the teacher that can adjust yourself so that, because a student doesn't understand the same, so that you can be able to put to the other side or put at the students the things that you want to do. You make an adjustment so that the other one can understand better than the other. That's what I thought. And
Yeah.
as today, uh, I teach, but it depends because there are a lot of that now. There are a lot of people that are instructor, master of different country. They have Filipino martial art, but it's a different Filipino martial art from Europe, because that's the way they understand the Filipino martial arts. A lot of the master don't have no footwork. Why they don't have no footwork? Because they never go through the whole session on the whole teaching of Filipino martial arts. They don't have enough because by the time they got 1 week, 2 weeks, then they become master just because they have experience some different country. So that's the way I looked at it. Is that how far you want to go? That's why I said, when I take my student here in the Philippines, now in the Philippines, I ask them, do you have experience? Then I will going to make a program for you so that you can understand me better. You can be able to learn a lot better because I am not going through the things that you already done. I'm not going through the basic that you think because you're already master in some place. I will going to write and make a program just for you. And that's the way I thought that I should do, is that whatever your experience from different country, if you're a master in taekwondo or tansudo, there are things that you already do that you can still be doing in the Philippine martial arts. But then, to minimize that, I would understand what you can understand a lot better and minimize your time staying with me, because for me to teach a real master from zero is that it takes years. But just because of now there's a lot of expert from different martial arts, it takes only a few weeks, a month, or 6 months to be able to become lakandalawa, lakanta, and sometimes professor. But,
Okay.
and
Yes.
sometimes that is why I think is that the designing of own program because of your past experience, I think, to me, I think is the just the wisest thing that I can be able to contribute Filipino martial art so that people will understand, that in 2 weeks I will not going to be able to teach you the footwork. It takes, if you went through that, because if you went through that already, then you're gonna save your time because you've been doing a lot of footwork already in a different part of your experience in karate or Wing Chun and things like that. And there is also what I know is that, because I actually right now I'm also on the Wing Chun
Oh, another incoming call. I think so, but it's okay. It's okay. It's normally in the during the live. Mm. This interview will be sent on demand because not possible to go in live. It's normally when we talk from the Philippines to Europe. Okay, it's usually, but it's very interesting interview because Grandmaster Pallen has a lot of experience with many masters and grandmasters of the world of FMA. So incredible. Go from Grandmaster Remy Presas to Grandmaster Leo Giron and many others. It's fantastic. You see, it's, I'm waiting for the next. Okay, the next invitation. Yes, I had.
Sorry, Master Claudio.
Yes, no problem. I know you receive a lot of messages or calling or something like that. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. Well, I'm not going to move anymore. But anyway, that is what I can contribute, is to be able to see the experience that I have many years ago and from the beginning part, because we all learn from the things, from the mistake, from the errors, from day one and until today. We learn how you can be able to adjust and improve a lot of the things that we do, and especially today, we got a lot of expert students now. A lot of them are actually doing the things that I was doing before. That I am researching. I spar with you because I want to learn. I spar with you because I want to know what do you do, how you do it, and I learn from that because of the exhibition, because of the way I feel with you. It's just like uh, feeling is faster than eyeing. Because
Yes.
if I touch you, I can feel you. If I look at you, I can see you. But feeling is more faster because I can
Absolutely.
touch you. And that's what I thought about it. So exactly the same thing with a lot of our things is to be able to understand those. And it doesn't take a few months to learn that. It takes a few years to know that because you experience it, you touch it. You don't see it by watching, hey, I saw you because I can see you. It's not. And you feel when
Yeah.
you touch somebody. That's what I thought. But anyway, did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you so much, Grandmaster, because you give it me a lot of principles, a lot of lessons today. Crazy, 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 fantastic, fantastic,
I'm
fantastic, fantastic. I have because the time going fast. I would like to ask you another question because many European guys wanna know about the real fight. So I would like to ask you a question about real fighting. You, if sometimes you fought in the past in the real fight with the other escrimadors, and I would like to ask you this because many people want to know about about this also.
okay. All right. This is one of my personality is that I am not. I'm always not always confident. I always want to try and adventure and explore. So anyway, I know I put in a fist fight and knife and things like that. And this is true. I put it in a real fight with a knife, with a baseball bat, and this time you know when I was in a basketball game with a lot of guys, and the guy was saying, "Oh, he's elbowing me all the time." So I said, "Put me inside." So I put inside. So when the guy is trying to we get rumble. And that's where everybody put some knives, some baseball bat, some things. So But anyway, I take care of that. Anyway, I uh, I get a solution of that. But anyway, this is what I'm saying, that when I went to the Dog Brothers, I did that in purpose.
Oh, I lose another time. Just a moment, sorry. Sorry, guys, for
Experience how it is to fight something that I don't know. I don't know their experience. I don't know if they're professional. So I went down in LA, in Southern California, and then I went to watch the Dog Brother fight. Mark Denny was there. So when everybody, they're matching now. So down in matching, I went down and man, everybody got a match already. So I said loudly, anybody who wants to fight me. And I was actually 60 years old. And these are 24 years old, 34 years old, and no one probably 45 years old. These are young boys, young guys. But anyway,
yes.
and one guy come up to me and shake my hand. I will fight you. And that is uh, Mark Denny's sidekick from, I think, Australia or somewhere in Europe. You, a lot of people know him on that. He's one of the guys that's been training Mark Denny for many years. So you shake a hand, and then when we put, I borrowed everything from sticks to gloves to
Another problem. Ok. For the Italian guys, Grandmaster Pallen sta parlando di quando fece andò in un torneo praticamente di Mark Tenny, cioè del Dog Brother, e un australiano si propose a lui per cercare di voler combattere con lui, perché lui era lì presente e ebbe la possibilità di poter appunto testare il suo stile con quelli del Dog Brother. Hello, Grandmaster. Yes,
Hello.
we continue. No problem. Yes, you told me about when you fought against the Australian guy during the Dog Brother gathering.
I didn't understand.
Oh,
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Now.
Yeah. Continue. No problem. We
Well,
talk about yeah.
What did you say? But anyway, I borrowed because I did not bring anything to fight. I came over there just to watch, but I borrowed all the things that I needed to be able to fight. So the glove is loose; it keep coming off. The stick is too heavy that you have to exert more power into it. And there are other little things. So I make an adjustment during the fight. So when my glove is always dropping my sticks, I take it out and I just use only my hand to hold the sticks. I've seen people that swallow that 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 their hand got big because they got hit. But I take out I don't have no glove with my hand. But anyway, one very big experience. I finished the match with Martin.
I'm sorry for this another stop connection, but That's the problem. That's why we prefer to send internet interview, online interview, live interview on demand tomorrow. Because there's a problem with today with the internet connection. I'm so sorry for this, but we try our best.
But anyway,
yes. Yep.
I have another fight. I have another fight after the first fight. I shake another hands and then we agreed that we will fight. He is one of Dan Inosanto's students. And it was a very learning fight. Regardless who you won or not or whatever, I don't consider that. I was there to fight, but then I got poked in the eye. I never thought, I never actually put too much time on trusting because it's not allowed, especially in the tournament. But I learned that that's very important technique that you should get used to, is to defend yourself from the trusting. And as for this time, that's the thing that I'm concentrating on now, is to what will I do on the trusting. I know depletion is fun, but there is some other things that you can be able to develop to do that. But anyway, that's how my experience of fight. I got before the brothers, we have somebody challenged me in tournaments. And he's from Southern California. He's an expert guy. He said, well, while I was conducting tournament, he come up to me and says, I want to fight you. We'll conduct. And during the
problem yet. Today is no good day for the interview, maybe, but we can continue. In Italian language, Grandmaster Pallen stava parlando di quando incontrò anche un altro studente del Gran Maestro Inosanto.
That is the style that I've been learned when I was in the Philippines. Those are the real one, the solo baston. And that is one of the more like the real one that I explained to you how a screamer can fight. It's not just taking away things, it's all that. That's the way we do it in Bicol region, is that if you want to kill somebody right away, you hit it in the temple. If you want to bring down the 6 feet into a 3 feet, you hit him in the shin. And that's the way I understand it. And because of my experience in searching and all that, I being able to experience a lot of those that I know now. And that's all real. It's no fake. It's no lie. It's all I'm saying is the real history of myself and how I experience it. It's nobody's experience, it's mine. So thank you for that
question. Thank you, Grandmaster. Thank you for your experience. Thank you for your thoughts in the past. And you explained me a lot of things, a lot of principles today. And I am happy, to have the possibility to interview you. Sorry for some, connection problems, but it's normally from the Philippines to to Europe. Sometimes it's normally that way. I would like to say thank you, Grandmaster. Thank you, Grandmaster, for this interview, because the times go fast. We are waiting. Master Pallen, we contact another time. Maybe we will do another interview
Hello.
Yes, I hear you now. I hear you now another time. Yes.
I
Okay.
think the direction
Sorry.
that giving us trouble.
Sorry. Can you repeat, please? I don't hear you, Grandmaster. I don't hear you now.
It might be your it might be your, there you go. I see you now.
Okay,
Can you see
okay,
me?
perfect, perfect. Yes, now yes, now yes. Yes.
Okay. You can ask more question if you want. What's the next question?
Yeah, next question, last question for you, because 1 hour passed so fast with you. Next event of Grandmaster PALLEN in the world.
Oh, my next event with Grandmaster PALLEN, because of the pandemic, I try to avoid going out or going any months. So my next event is how important is the event? How can I contribute to the event? And that is the things that I need to adjust. Just because right now we have a pandemic, and I just try to be safe and careful because I don't want to get sick. I have already my injection too, Pfizer. But now I am afraid that I might be able to contaminate other of them might contaminate me. It's one to other people that I can be able to.
I cannot hear you so well, Grandmaster. I cannot hear you now. The problem when you talk is the internet connection is not good now. I don't know what happened, but I don't know. Can you hear me now? I think it's better to stop the interview, and then we will do another time in another day. Sorry for this internet connection. Okay, sorry, Grandmaster PALLEN. Sorry for the internet connection, but we better if we stop the interview and we will do another time. Thank you so much, guys. See you soon. Thank you.